Alright, let's do this. So hello YouTube, hello everybody. Well, this is Marcel Coenen for you guys, doing this live stream here on this Saturday evening. At least in the Netherlands it's evening. Here it is 7:35 at this moment. So 37 to be precise, 38 now. So yeah, and I just played my first song for tonight. That was Can You Feel It Now? That came from the album The X, which I have here. So this a new album that I did this year, and check it out if you want to. It's all over the streaming platforms, but of course you can also still buy a copy if you like to. There's a link on my website where you can get them. So go to the X info and you find the link to buy the album. So yeah, that was the opening track for that album. Going back to an older album of mine. This is from, I mean, there's church clocks going here. Can you hear that in the background? I don't know. These are the weirder clocks going for the church. We live close to the center, so that's why, you know. So sorry for this if that disturbs you, but it kind of is cool and adds to the atmosphere, I guess. So, but this is from College Journey. This is Waiting. Cheers. Is coming up on the keyboards. Big atmosphere, and now comes keyboard solo, Bob Cassiones. So that was the song Waiting from this album here. That's Color Journey, released in 2006. So quite a time ago, but I recently released a remixed and remastered version on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, whatever, in 2014 for 24. So check it out. The remastered remix sounds, in my opinion, way better. It has way better drum sound. So check it out. So, and this was Spike Milders on the drums, a good friend of mine. We played together in the Art of Pantera. We still do some cover bands together. That's he was the old member of Form, Speedica, everything, you know, that I did really in the past. And great drummer, great friend. It was Mike Anderson on the vocals, Richard Ritterbeeks on the bass, me on all the guitars, and you heard Bob Cassionis playing the keyboard solo. And this guy, you know, I love him. He's like a dear friend of mine and sounded great, right? It's really a great keyboard player. Really awesome shredder, if you ask me. Yeah. So yeah, Bob, of course I knew back then from the Firewind. And we got in contact through the label we had in common. That was Lion Music, of course. And yeah. Great guy, man. I went to Greece, met him there. We made a little video together that went viral back then, also on YouTube. That was pretty fun. But yeah, that's a while ago. So but he played the keyboard solo in this song. Go back to the new one now. So to the X, and this is a song called "Sovereign of Shadows" with Pascal Remans singing.
Embracing the fear that we made.
So yeah, that was a song from the X, from my latest album, this one, that came out this year, in April of this year. And this is the typical released version on CD, but I have it also, you know, it is also on Spotify, iTunes, everything, so you can find it. Sovereign of Shadows, the song was called. And I want to say hello to some people in the chat. So Black Crow Busker, hello, nice to meet you. And yes, the Boyle guitar, man, that's still my favorite guitar. It is still the most awesome thing that's ever built for me. That's just, you know, so why should I play something else? That's just my statement. But hello. So you say, could you break the solo down from a theoretical standpoint? Actually, it's all E minor based. It's really all E minor. So it starts clean. You know, this starts with this Lydian chord. This chord, which is actually a chord which is a power chord, but with an added 9 and a sharp 4. So that's what it is. So that gives a Lydian sound. And yeah, that's what I love to play. And I played just E minor over that. So the E minor scale fits over all these chords that are underneath. And the chords are just, you know, like the C Lydian chord, and then an E minor with a 9 in there and a 7. Beautiful chords. I like kind of these chords to play. You know, these have additions. So it's like a power chords, but you have a added 9 and the 3 and the 7. So these fit together very well. And that's what the basis is for the whole solo. So even the distortion part, what comes after it are the same chords, but then it's just like... And I still play the E minor scale, just, you know, but I choose wisely my notes. Because, you know, it's always about which notes you choose, just to find, you know, typical tones. 7 and 9 from the natural minor scale, indeed. So you have the E minor scale. Right? And there you take the 9th and the 7th. So these are in there, which gives actually almost the beginning of a D major chord there over E. You know, that gives a little bit that impression, but it sounds cool in my opinion. And I kind of like to experiment with those kind of soundscapes, but I have that all from keyboard players, because keyboard players and their soundscapes is my favorite thing in the world. And I really love Mike Oldfield's parts, you know, and I always listen to what he made in his progressions, and that was a big influence in also my chord choosings, because it's just, you know, the voicings I really love in what he did. And this is, I like that. So it's really these kind of chords. This is really a C with a 5th and then a 9th and a sharp 4. And that's a Lydian C. I always say that as a Lydian chord, but it actually is almost like a D major chord. You know, but then over C. So I kind of like these kind of chords into each other, and that's always what I crave for. These kind of tones. These inspire me a lot to write music, and that was in this song as well. So Sovereign of Shadows, this whole section is actually a pretty simple section. It's all bass of E minor, but of course there's a C in there, which is the Lydian part, because the modes happen in this scheme. You know, it's a normal natural minor E minor, and I mean you have to know your theory a little bit for this, but I mean I always play with these kind of, because I really love the sound of it, and that's why I always write in these kind of chords, because yeah, it's just my favorite. It's just what I love. So yeah, that's maybe the best I can explain in that. If you want to know more, you can always take lessons. You know, it's but that's the best I can tell about it. But this is really this chord and this chord. And that's my whole explanation. It's actually about this. It's actually all E minor, and I see it as E minor, but just with different soundscapes, basically. So yeah, that. So yeah, hope you have something from that. Anyway, let me play another song, man. This is from Resurrection, an album I did in 2023. This album. And this was right after I was hospitalized, heart attack, all the kind of stuff. Hardly survived, but I mean, I'm here. So I was lucky that I made it. And I wrote an album about that. So that's Resurrection. And this is just, you know, a very special album for me because of the situation. And well, this is my little Van Halen kind of MSG tribute a little bit, this song. This, you know, I always had a thing for cage chords, you know, like the cage things. And this in this song. So this is Patron of Love. Stars also in the intro. Both are So there you go. A song from Resurrection called Patron of Love, sung by Jos Severens. Sorry. And that was the singer. That is the singer for one of my cover bands called System Pilot. We do like classic rock music, and we do Journey and stuff. And well, he sings this track, and he also sings on the new record a song, and he also did the song Resurrection. And yeah, pretty cool. The rest is all Hans en het Zand on drums, Richard Rutterbeeks on the bass, and René Kroon on the keyboards. So for people that know Suncaged, they might remember René Kroon, because he's the keyboardist. Also, he was the keyboardist for the last two records of Suncaged as well, and he plays also on my records. So the keyboards that you hear are his. Hans en het Zand is a guy that I already play with for a lot of years. Same with Richard, great bass player, fits my music very well, and yeah, that's just great, you know. I love it. On the last album, The X, I did the bass myself, just for one song he did, and but yeah, it is just, you know, I love his bass playing. I know he was busy. That's just the thing, and sometimes you cannot have everything. You just have to improvise a little bit. But that's it. Yeah. So Patron of Love from the Resurrection album. Gonna do a Guitar Talk song, an old one. Sure, why not? And this is a song I wrote in 1989. So let's do the math. 17 years old. 16, 17 years old. I wrote this track. I mean, remember, I started out when I was 11. And I practiced the most from my 11th till my 19th. So most of the stuff I know was already, you know, developed in those times. You can hear it in this song, Do or Die. So that was Do or Die, a song from the Guitar Talk 2021 version. And yeah, an old song, a really old one that I wrote back in 1989. And I found it back on an old cassette when I was just, digitizing everything. I mean, I had so many cassettes from the past. And I took some time, some years ago, just to digitize everything I have. Because cassettes get bad, you know. So I started digitizing. And then I found that song back. And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. I'm gonna make that new. And yeah, that's what happened. So I did it already on the Disambiguation mini EP. And now I just included it on the Guitar Talk 2021 record. So there you go. Do or Die. A song, the voice is done by Olly Oldenburg, who also sang Can You Feel It Now on the new record. And Olly is just, you know, I know him from the past. And Olly's a singer I got to know also in 1988, 1989, something. He sang in a band called Tightrope back in the day. And I came from a little town called Sittard in Limburg. Now living in Weert, by the way. So this is my attic here in Weert, my studio. But yeah, I'm born in Sittard, so that's really a little bit more south even. And this band was from Maastricht area, so of course we knew who they were, and I was already playing guitar already a few years and got to know them. And I mean, Peter Timpe is his actually name. Now having a hard time with his cancer stuff, man. That's fucking bad. But yeah, I mean this you know, it's just something that I crave, because this is a song that really is from that era, you know. So 1989 I wrote it, and totally driven by, you know, a mini album that I had from Impolitory, and a Mars album that I had, you know, Project Driver. There were some songs on that sounded similar to this. So yeah, I stole it a little bit from those records. But you always do that when you're not that experienced yet in songwriting. But I mean, the riff that's a typical like 80s chords. These chords are just like all these old 80s records. So yeah, that's so let's see who's in the chat. Oh man, a lot of people came by. Wow. Hello everybody. Reynolds, Guy Salen. Oh, Tommy, man, hi. Hi man, nice to see you. Oh yeah, back from form. Oh man, how did that went? Something like that. I haven't played that for years, man. Jesus Christ, that's a long time ago. So yeah, that's really that was 90s as well. So I mean, 93 we recorded, 94 that was released. But people are actually working on a re-release and also coming on the social platform. So that would be great to have form that first album, you know, on Spotify. That's pretty cool. And of course I know some Dio songs, but if you want to hear them, please ask Vivian Campbell or ask people that played in Dio. I never played in Dio, so sorry. I play my own material. So there you go. I'm going to do, yeah, let's do Shoreline. Also an old one. This tuned in D. Hey, how does this guitar now get in D? My little whammy pedal here helps with that, my whammy DT. So yeah, I'm going to play Shoreline. That's a long time ago too. anything. So yeah, I mean, some guitars I left on the backing tracks, of course, to have really a big sound. But that was it's the song Shoreline from this record. So there you see, Shoreline is on the, oh, there you go, there you can see it better. Song number 4 on this record, the Guitar Talk 21. So there you have it. And yeah, this is a pretty old song as well. But this is written so 2001, 2002. So it was right before I did you know, the first Guitar Talk version. So yeah. But yeah, that comes from that era. And tuning down like this is easy, you know, with a whammy, or just with my Fractal FM9 I can do it too. But I mean, it is just, you know, how that goes. And still bleeding Fractal patch. Sure, man. I mean, but I mean, a very important thing of my sound are my IRs that I use. And I use IRs that are not in the Fractal. So I use IRs that I bought from an own hammer. And these are really IRs that are like my speaker cabinet that I use. I have a Marcel cabinet with T75 speakers and vintage 30s, like in a cross setting. And yeah, these are you know, the IRs that I bought from own hammer are sounding almost the same. I mean, this is really, I mean, I compared it, you know, on a stage. I listened to my cabinet, I listened to what came off the monitor. I mean, it sounded almost the same, man. That was really, I mean, there was hardly a difference. It was so good. And I mean, that's why I like own hammer the best of all the IR companies. So yeah, this is really my favorite. So yeah, but the IR, yeah, there's an own hammer patch you have to buy then if you want to have those. I think it's called the Heavy Hitters Part 2. I'm not sure about the name, but something like that is the patch that I'm using. So, and they are not in the Fractal stuff, so you have to really get them. I mean, it costs you maybe 10 or 20 euro, you know. It is not a big deal, but I mean, it makes your sound really like that. Divided got a remaster. Don't know if you saw that, guys. I mean, Limo Voice, my old band. The second album is finally available on the Spotify and different other like online places. The only thing is, and we already said that to the label, All of Me, the song is cut off, and that's bad. So something went wrong there with uploading or with making that. I don't know, whatever. But we already informed the label, so they know about it, and they will fix it soon. So yeah, that's the only thing. But for the rest, man, I'm happy that album is finally available on online for everybody to hear, because this album was only released back then in 1999 in the Netherlands and a little bit in Germany, and for the rest nowhere in the world. So I mean, people ask me all over the place, you know, for that album, and finally they can hear it, you know. So now it is available on every streaming platform, so we made sure to let that happen. So check it out, man. If you're on Spotify or you're on Tidal or you're on whatever, so look for Limo Voice, look for Divided for the new and the good thing is we also remastered it, so it sounds way better. I think it has now the sound that we want, and it is really a lot better. So check it out. So finally, yeah. I mean, this I wanted to happen for a very long time, and I mean, nowadays it is the way. So people use Spotify, use Tidal, use whatever to listen to their music. And I mean, I don't care about making money from the music, you know. I do it from the heart, from, you know, just like to play music. And that's also why I do these live streams. I just want to let people hear my music. You know, I don't care to get earned, you know, but I mean, that's also why I wanted to have this music out there. And that's what I did with Speedica, that's what I did with Form as well. So yeah, Form is also will also be released. Also the I Choose My Own will also be on Spotify soon. So I'm working on that. Yeah. I want to have that for everybody to hear. So that's what we're working on. But Limo Voice already is there, so that's pretty cool. So thank you, Kiko Mayo. Yeah, and there are so many great things. Still Bleeding. Yeah, of course I can upload that patch, but you still need the IRs, so that's just a thing you have to keep in mind. For the rest is yeah, it's just, you know, I think I'll upload it later to Fractal bot, to the Fractal what is it, where you share the presets. I will do it, no problem. I mean, it is not a very complicated patch. I mean, I can play the song and I can show it. It is really like, you know, Still Bleeding. There it is. So the only difference with the lead, with all the sounds, there's more reverb on. There's really a big long delay. So this, and then my lead sound is or my rhythm sound really has also the big reverb. It is not there when you play. It is really like just adding a little bit, but when you just do this, you hear really like whoa, you know. But when you play, it is actually just filling a little bit the gaps in between. That's what I like. The lead sound is a little bit like there's a delay that goes in time. There's the time thing that goes in time with that little piece, and that's it. So there are 4 scenes, because that's all what Still Bleeding needs. Let me play the song, then you can hear it. Still Bleeding from Color Journey. Right, that was the name. Exchange. Joyce Geegraaf, rest in peace. I mean, she died, oh man, a couple of years ago, car accident. Yeah, it's still hard, to think about this, but I mean, what a singer, right? Such an awesome voice. And I got to know her here in Weert because of the Triangle. That was an old pub here in Weert where they played some metal and stuff. And she was there, and she just talked to me, like I was a well-known guy in that area here. So she talked to me like, hey, I'm a singer, maybe you're interested to hear what I do, blah, blah, blah. We can do something together. We can work some. So I thought, okay, sure, come by. And then she came. And we just wrote this little piece, Still Bleeding. We wrote this, I think, in 2.5 hours. That was really done in 2.5 hours. The whole melodies, the whole singing lines, everything. She wrote the lyric already before, she had the lyric already. And yeah, I mean, that went so fast. And I remember when we recorded this in the studio, that was the Pit Studio here in Nederweert, from a good friend of mine, Hans Reinders, who also sings on my records. He was the old singer of Spiedica, Form, etc., etc. And he has a studio here in Weert called the Pit Studio, where I recorded also this album, The Color Journey. And she came into the studio, she sang it just, like you hear now, and it's so beautiful. The song name is Still Bleeding. That's on the Color Journey, so on this record. So this one. So Color Journey. There's a remix and remastered version online at Spotify, iTunes, etc. And that sounds, in my opinion, better. Especially the drum sound and also the vocal sound better. I mean, the rest of the instruments sounded good on the old version as well, but for some reason I wasn't happy with the drum sound, so I just decided to remix and remaster it. I still had all the tracks, so that was cool. So yeah, there you go. And it is always, when I play this song, I always feel, like Joyce Geegraaf. She was the singer here, and such a great singer, and with much heart and passion, that's what it should be, in my opinion, definitely. So Still Bleeding, there you go. I have about 25 minutes to go. So yeah, playing a few tracks. Let me do an old Suncage track, right, for you guys. There are some prog fans here, I guess, and I think they will like this one. This is Bloodlines. Oh shit, wait. Before I do this, I have to change sound. Because I'm still bleeding. And that won't work. So, now I'm good. So, there you go. I just started the song again. So there you go, an old Suncage classic. 2007 this came out, and that was at Artemisia Records that we did for Lion Music, the second record for Suncage, and this was the song Bloodlines. And yeah, a little bit prog metalish, and that was our style a little bit, yeah. And it was not Gray, no, this was Paul Adrian Villarreal. And yeah, he has a great voice. I love his vocals. I mean, he was such a great addition, man, to the band. And I mean, we did 2 albums with him. So yeah, that's let me do another Suncage, man. Why not? But I'll take a 7-string for this. So I changed guitar. My cable hangs around these knobs. Yeah, okay. Man, come on. Okay. So I'm gonna change my instrument for the next one, because I want my 7-string beast for this one. And this is really, it's gonna be a good Suncage one for you guys, and I think you will love this one. It was hot the last day, so yeah, my guitar's a little bit detuned, but that's what happens, right? When you when it's warm. And this is Unborn from the same record. So, Suncage stuff, right? So, the band Suncage, that was my prog band. And this was all from the second album. This one is called Unborn. And that was also on the album Artemisia. So check it out. It's all over, Spotify, in iTunes, everywhere. You can find it. And my tuning is standard. Standard 7 string tuning. So nothing spicy there, nothing special. So this on the Artemisia or on the Lotus Effect, we kind of experimented with some different tunings. Yeah, there we had some different kind of stuff going on. 2011, that was already. This was 2007, man, a long time ago. So yeah, we were around when prog metal was basically dead. That was really, really weird. It was really tough to get a bit recognition, for some reason. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Nowadays it seems to come a little bit, but yeah, a bit too late in my opinion. Gonna do one more, and then we're heading to the city to have some whiskey and stuff. It's Saturday night, so yeah. This is just Cokes, by the way, so nothing else. Let's see. Let's play some Independence Day. This is also from Guitar Talk. And Independence Day. My song that was inspired by bands like, I don't know if you know this stuff, but this was one of my highlights in my career. Bands like Alice in Chains, Pantera, and then logically also, bands like Hyge's Kitchen and Criminy. And I think this derives a little bit from that era. So there you go. Independence Day. And that's a song totally derived a little bit from that that awesome, 90s stuff. Yeah. Actually, this is in the fractal, yeah. So this is, I have an expression pedal here which turns into a wow. With an auto engage function. Just like, it's pretty easy and it works very well. And why should I have a different wah pedal when the Axe FX has such a great effects? So yeah, it's in there. So let me do one more. Okay, I saw a request coming from Moira. So maybe, but I have to take a different guitar for that because I can't play that on a 7-string. Not gonna work. Let me see. So the 7-string goes back. And I take my beloved Boel back for this. Because this guitar has to be played on a Boel. For some reason. I mean, I played it on Guitar Talk 2021 on my chords. Which is also a great guitar, actually. Not bad, but yeah, nothing comes close, even close to this. Boel. I know the orange one is just a very cheap ass. It's a chord. It's a Fender-like guitar. I'm not gonna use it on my songs because I have no use for it. I just use it sometimes in my classic rock band, where I need like like single coil pickups or something, but not really my. And it is not a Yamaha. It's a chord. It's a chord G280. 280, I think. Yeah. So there you go, Moira. I have to take the good sound for this. So there you go. And there we go. The re-recorded version. Yeah, so thank you a lot for tuning into the live stream today. I mean, I'm really happy for the people that were here, and I mean, it's always cool to play for some people, and I hope you liked it. I hope you liked my songs, you like my music. You can feel, you can just feel, the music, how I do, try to, and this is just my pleasure for you guys. So I mean, it is I don't have a lot of gigs planned for my own solo stuff, so therefore I do it like here, and so people can enjoy my stuff, and that's I mean, as I said, I'm not in it for the money at all. I mean, money I make with guitar lessons giving, with my work, which I do also, and other stuff, but this is from the heart, just to play, create music for you guys, and I hope you like it. So that's just that will be my everything if people like my stuff, and that's cool. So thank you all for tuning in, and see you next time. So I'm gonna drink some whiskey in the town, so I'm pretty into that. So yeah, let's go to, I mean, it's Saturday night, so yeah, going with my girlfriend into the city and have some fun, and listen to some cool metal, because we have a metal bar here in Weird, the Zigzag, where we're gonna hang out. So yeah, see you around. Bye bye.